Well, howdy, ocean explorers. I'm Tommy, and you're tuned into the Aquatic News Network, where the facts are deep and the sea creatures are always up to something mysterious. This week's headline comes straight from the depths and the archives. Scientists cracked open the DNA of brittle stars, those bendy little echinoderms that look like sea spaghetti with a flair for drama, and found something wild: a deep sea superhighway. Turns out these critters have been cruising across entire ocean basins for thousands, if not more, years. Not just drifting aimlessly like a lost jellyfish at prom. We're talking coordinated ancient migration routes like underwater Route 66, but with more tentacles and fewer diners. And get this, they figured it out using museum specimens.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
This is not worth 11.50 an hour.
Some of the brittle stars were collected back when mullets were mainstream and Walkmans ruled the earth.
What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you.
Scientists pulled DNA from these dusty drawers and found genetic connections between populations oceans apart. These migration routes weren't just random detours, they were powered by deep ocean currents, tectonic shifts, and maybe a little disco-era determination. Picture Studio 54, but 5,000 meters down and everyone's got 5 arms. Cue the music. This isn't just a fun fact for your next trivia night, it changes how we understand deep sea ecosystems. These brittle stars aren't isolated, they're part of a global network, like the MySpace of marine life, but with better lighting, less Tom bothering you, and fewer profile songs. It also means conservation efforts need to think bigger. Protecting one patch of ocean might not be enough if these creatures are genetically linked across continents. It's like trying to save a mixtape by only guarding the cassette case. And here's where you come in, citizen scientists. Your tide pool snapshots, dive footage, and blurry beach finds, well, they're helping fill in the map. Every brittle star you spot could be a missing puzzle piece in this global mystery. So keep those cameras rolling, tag your finds, and don't be shy about sharing your underwater adventures. Adventures.
Adventure time!
Adventures. You never know. Your backyard beach photo might help rewrite a marine biology textbook. So next time you're staring into the deep blue wondering what's down there, just remember there's a whole network of sea creatures cruising ancient highways, swapping DNA like mixtapes, and keeping the ocean groovy. This has been Tommy, signing off from the Aquatic News Network. Stay curious, stay salty, and tune in next time when we ask, are jellyfish secretly time travelers? Spoiler alert, they've been ghosting us since the Cambrian. Welcome back to the Aquatic News Network. Today we're going over a little bit of an ocean tale. Bad and ugly turned into something beautiful and amazing. Today's episode is a tale of transformation.
Jailbreaker! Wheeljack!
Where rust meets redemption and the villains of yesterday become the guardians of tomorrow. Grab your snorkel and your joystick because we're diving into the Steel Sanctuary, the epic saga of how oil platforms, yes, those oil platforms, are leveling up as artificial reefs. Let's rewind to the fossil-fueled frenzy of the late 20th century. Offshore oil rigs dotted coastlines like metallic mushrooms, extracting, leaking, looming. These towering structures weren't built with marine life in mind. They disrupted whale migrations with relentless noise, leaked toxic residue into fragile coral beds, and cast long shadows over seagrass meadows that once danced freely in the sunlit shallows. Activists even rallied for their removal, demanding restoration of the ocean's natural rhythm. Marine biologists raised red flags, warning that these rigs were more than eyesores, they were ecological hazards.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
But here's where the narrative glitches in the best way possible. Turns out, those towering steel skeletons have a secret superpower: structure. Their vertical legs and crossbeams mimic the complexity of natural reef formations, offering shelter, shade, and spawning grounds for marine life. Coral polyps even cling to steel like it's limestone. Juvenile fish dart through the shadows, safe from predators. Crustaceans tuck themselves into crevices. Even apex predators, grouper, barracuda, patrol the perimeter like reef guardians. Sea turtles glide past using the rig's geometry as a navigation landmark. Rays sweep the sandy bottom, tracing the outlines of this accidental oasis. It's like the ocean said, "You built it, now make it useful." And we did. So if y'all were anything like me with your Nintendo Game Boy, you definitely used a Game Genie. And here's the cheat code for reef respawns. First, the rig is scrubbed clean. Oil residue, contaminants, anything that might poison the party gets removed. Then comes the big decision. Do we topple it or leave it standing? Well, that depends on depth, current, and the species we're trying to support. Once the structure's in place, marine biologists monitor colonization like it's a time-lapse city builder. Coral growth, fish populations, invertebrate diversity, all tracked, logged, and shared with conservation groups, universities, and citizen scientists. Within months, these still sanctuaries became bustling underwater cities. It's reef building at warp speed. And the best part, it's not just a scientific win, it's a community win. Now, let's face the final boss: ethics. Yeah. Can a relic of environmental harm become a tool for restoration? Some critics call it greenwashing, repurposing pollution infrastructure and slapping a conservation label on it. But the data tells a different story. These rigs, once cleaned and stabilized, increased biodiversity, reduced bottom trawling damage, and offer cost-effective reef creation. Some are left partially standing to preserve fish populations, others are toppled to avoid navigational hazards and maximize reef spread. It's not about erasing the past, it's about rewriting the future, and the ocean's story is one of resilience. Here's where you come in, reef rangers. These sanctuaries aren't just for scientists, they're for everyone. Divers log species sightings and reef health. Anglers report fish populations and spawning behavior. Underwater photographers document coral growth and invasive species. All that data gets uploaded to platforms like iNaturalist and ReefCheck, turning everyday explorers into ocean archivists. It's like Pokemon Snap, but with real fish and no Professor Oak to judge your framing. Yeah, get a little bit closer. Needs to be more centered. I got it there like 10 million times. It's not my fault the ones that cling on the wall are hard to get a picture of, okay? So here we are. Proof that even the rustiest relics can be reborn. From oil slicks to reef respawns, the ocean teaches us that transformation is possible. It's not perfect, but then again, what is? But it's powerful. These still sanctuaries remind us that restoration doesn't always mean removal. Sometimes it means reimagining. And if that's not worthy of a high score, I don't know what is. Thanks for tuning into the Aquatic News Network, where the science meets style and every reef has a redemption arc. Stay curious, stay nerdy, and remember, sometimes the best allies come from the most unexpected places. Alright, y'all, let's talk about Florida's Lake Worth Lagoon. Now, before you say it, and before I get to it, I know lagoon restoration sounds like something you'd skip past in a side quest menu, but hold up. This one's got manatees, rogue anchors, and a comeback story worthy of a final boss battle. Picture this: a 20-mile stretch of coastal water once teeming with seagrass, nature's underwater Wi-Fi. It connects everything: juvenile fish, crustaceans, sea turtles, even our beloved sea cows. But over the years, that signal's been jammed. Anchors dragging like glitchy code. illegal moorings popping up like spam pop-ups, and the seagrass beds now shredded like a speed run gone wrong. Turns out, some folks have been dropping homemade mooring rigs, cinder blocks, rebar, and even old car parts. I mean, come on. That's not anchoring, that's underwater littering with extra steps. It's like tossing a Game Boy into a koi pond and calling it aquatic tech. But here's the good news. Palm Beach is hitting restore point starting this week. The Marine unit's rolling out a lagoon management plan that's part science, part enforcement, and all redemption arc. They're mapping the damage, educating boaters, and removing illegal gear like it's a corrupted save file. And no, they're not going full Grand Theft Dinghy. Vessel owners get a heads up, a chance to relocate, and some good old-fashioned anchoring etiquette. It's like getting a tutorial screen instead of a game over, but ignore the warning, boom. Enforcement mode activated. Cue the confiscation animation. So why does this matter? Well, because seagrass isn't just pretty, it's powerful. It stabilizes sediment, filters water, and gives marine life a place to spawn, hide, and thrive. Lose it, and you don't just lose biodiversity, you lose the whole ecosystem's cheat codes. So, hats off to the folks pressing restore instead of delete. This lagoon's not just a body of water, it's a living archive, and every blade of seagrass is a pixel in the great underwater mosaic. Let's protect it like it's the last level. This is the Aquatic News Network, where science meets nostalgia, and every restoration is a respawn worth cheering for. Stay nerdy, stay salty, and remember, don't anchor like it's 1999.